Like, yeah, your sister's not bad, but you didn't forgive your sister. And how much will that start? Right? Aquí dice en la palabra de Dios, queremos que perdonar, aunque sea que nos duela. Doesn't matter, because God will figure out a way for you to not hurt anymore. So, I'm just going to give you another thing that I've learned throughout the times. So, en la Biblia Jesús siempre decía, don't love the people that you already love, right? Love your enemies more. Like, I'm not going to go up to Abby and be like, I love you so much, I already love her. And be like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. She knows I love her. God knows I love her. But that's not going to do me anything. But over here, like, she's like my enemy. She's like, what's it called? Frenemies, right? Frenemies, right? We're friends, but not really. We're enemies. And we keep talking stuff about each other. But if I just love Abby, and I love her more, God's going to be like, okay, so what's going on over here? He always taught us to love our enemies more. Yes, she said really mean things about me, but I'm going to forgive her and I'm going to love her more. It doesn't matter if it still hurts. I'm going to be like, que Dios la bendiga, que Jesús le mande bendiciones a ella y su familia. Even though it hurts me, I have to say it, because once I say these things, el corazón, it's going to be like, well, her mind is saying it, I have to believe it, right? That happens when when somebody likes us, right? We're like, well, if he likes us, maybe I'm going to like him. Like, maybe if I go out with him, I'm going to like him. Oh, well, you, right? I'm going to be like, oh, he has cute glasses. Me, I don't know. And he has a nice smile, right? And then it's like, oh, he has nice shoes, he has nice style. He goes to church, and then I start thinking about him more and more and more, and then I'm going to end up liking him, right? That's what happens, right, girls? Guys? Okay. Guys, right? You said that's how it works. That's how it works. So if you, right, let's say I got in a fight with my brother. And I'm like, ¿qué decir? Si todo el tiempo estoy pensando en eso. Oh, he took my money. Oh, he took my money out of my bag. I worked so hard for that, $20. And he took it. What did he even do with it? He went to McDonald's and he bought a number 10 and it's like, oh, and then it's like I get home and I keep thinking about it and I'm like, oh, Gabriel, why do you always do this? Like, oh, instead I should have been like, okay, I worked hard, he's my brother. Like, I never take him out to eat, so I mean, maybe he was really hungry, pobrecito. There's nothing to eat at home. I have to go up to him and okay, listen, I have money, whatever's mine is yours, we're a family, but next time ask me if you need a gas money, at least give me that, the free Coke bottle, the cup, at least give that to me, you know what I mean? Just once you say it, once you keep saying things, el corazón empieza a creerlo. And once your heart starts believing it, that's when you become free of whatever you're doing. Okay? So I'm going to give you just a little tiny testimony. So, just quick, I'm just going to resume it, and then I'm going to need you guys work, because I'm tired of always talking, and I'm going to make you guys work tonight. Okay? So, no, it's not paying. God's going to pay you up in heaven. So a few years ago, my parents decided that their marriage wasn't working out, and they got divorced, and blah, 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 blah. To make a short story, my parents have been divorced for 7 years, and my dad doesn't really talk to us that much. He, has a new girlfriend, and, that sucks. And I've seen them together a few times, and you can just imagine, right, if your parents are divorced, seeing your dad, I was like, Daddy's little girl, you can buy me anything. I was like his little princess, and when my parents were younger, they would always be like, oh, Debbie, if we get divorced, course, who would he go with? And I was like, oh, I go with my dad. I love him more. And they're like, sorry, Mom, I love you too, but like, he buys me things. But, you know, things happen, and I ended up with my mom, which I don't regret. I love it better because she spoiled us. Pero, for 7 years, yo tenía rencor. Guys, come on, I'm still here talking. I still had that in my heart. I was still like, are you serious? Like, seriously, why do you not love me? Like, I thought fathers, like, would always do anything for their kids. Like, parents, right? That's what they teach you. And for like tons and tons of years, I would always just think about it and it would hurt me. And like, I would just be at school and I would start thinking about him and I would just start crying. And crying. And I was like, that's not fair, God. Like, I'm always at church. Like, now I'm one of the leaders of the youth group. And I'm like, all I can think about is this. Like, all I can think about is, like, how much I hate my dad. Like, I would see him sometimes. And I would be like, I wouldn't love them. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, you see somebody and you know you're supposed to love them, but you just look at them and you're like, okay, like, I'm supposed to love you, but I don't feel it in my heart. So, for the past month, I was dealing with it more and more and more. And all of a sudden at church, I saw him with his girlfriend. And all I wanted to do was run up to her and just punch her and like go like crazy and just go like those keys, like you know when there's like the cage fighting? I just wanted to like grab like one of the foldable chairs and go like boom and just beat her up like me. I'm like peace and love girl. And I just wanted to like boom se me calentó la sangre and durante la misa I was like having a panic attack and I was like, God, why this? Like, this isn't funny. Like, seriously, like, this is not funny. Like, why? So, blah, blah, blah. You guys don't want to know all of the story, but, so, we went to una iglesia San Patricio to promote July 18th. Get your tickets to me, right? So, we went there to promote it, right? Like I just did shameless plug. And all of a sudden, era como un grupo de oración aquí los martes. Ellos estaban adorando a Dios, y it was all beautiful, they were singing, it was just like Tuesday nights down here. And I was just sitting there, praying for the concert, praying for all the little pepitos, and I was like, oh God, please like heal them, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, I'm on the ground. I didn't even notice. And I just started like crying, like hysterically crying, like and I didn't even notice. Like I just felt like my whole body shaking, and all of a sudden I had a vision of my dad's girlfriend. I see her squint. All of a sudden she's in front of me, and I felt like this was real life. So stand up. Come on. So I was like this, right? And she was like just standing there. And God was like right next to her. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's the one in my sin. She is the one that took my dad away from me. And he's like, you have to love her. And I was like, no I don't. And he's like, yeah you kind of do. And I was like, no I don't. I hate her. I will always hate her. I don't care if I go to hell. I'm going to hate her for the rest of my life. I hope she chokes and dies. And that's the only thing I can like in my vision, right? That's horrible. So God like grabbed my hand and put it on her chest. When she put it on her chest, my hand started to burn and my heart started to burn. And all I remember, I started to cry. Thank you. So I started to cry and cry. All of a sudden, in my vision, she hugs me. And I'm like, oh my God. But then all of a sudden, I felt heat throughout my whole body, like fire, burning. And I was like, I